Welcome back, my loves, to the Connect to Pleasure podcast. I'm Kayla, your host, and I go by she, her, hers pronouns. And this is the last day of my open cart for my one-on-one coaching program. We have made it. We have arrived. So this is the last day that I will be sending out 2 episodes in the day. And then we will kind of be going back to my normal cadence of things. So this has been a journey, and I'm excited to move beyond this part of the trying to, put all this information out there and really starting to get to work with the people that find that this is their next step in their journey. So know that another discount is coming your way. So stay tuned to the end of this episode because you don't want to miss out on my last day discount that is coming. Okay. So before we get to that, I wanted to go through the process one more time with you of what it looks like to actually enroll in a one-on-one coaching program with me, what you're getting, what it will look like, kind of go through all the details with you one more time, and then I will let you know about the discount. Okay? So let's imagine yourself for a moment sitting at your computer or on your phone, and you're like, it's the last few hours of this opportunity, and I think I really need to take the plunge. And so you click the button and you put in your credit card and do all the things. And then you take a step back and you're like, okay, what did I just get myself into? I'm going to put your nervous system at ease. So when you purchase with me, I will be sending you an email. It's probably going to depend on the day. I'm going to be a little bit busy today, so it may not get to you until tomorrow, but I promise I will be reaching out. Do not fear. I will be reaching out. And because we have not done a consultation, I probably will be giving you the option to either schedule a call with me if you would rather do it that way, or I can just send you some intake questions in your email and you can email them back to me because I do want to get a little bit of a sense of like who people are before we go into our first session together. And in that email, I will also be providing you a link to schedule your sessions with me. So I have a calendar and you can just go and look at what is available with that link and schedule your sessions for when it's available for you. Again, usually like once a week. And then, we have like 3 months to get through eight sessions plus your bonus. So if there's a week here or there that you need to skip, that's totally fine. And you can go schedule your sessions there. I would recommend scheduling them up front, but if, you can only schedule a few at a time and then need to come back and schedule more, that's also fine too. So that's kind of the first initiation, that we will have a point of contact via email. If you want like a Zoom type call, we can do that. Otherwise, we'll just kind of converse over email until our first meeting. And then again, we have 6 teaching sessions and then 2 integration sessions and then a bonus at the end as well of your choosing. So let's go through what those teaching sessions are one more time. So we start out with gathering the threads. If you go way, way, way back to the beginning of this podcast in its first ever iteration where I was under the name Her on Top, and I was doing it with one of my best friends. We did a whole series on your sexual history. And fun thing about the best friend that I did this with is that she and I knew each other since first grade. And so we had gone through a lot of those same experiences together and then kind of veered off as we went into high school and beyond. But that's a great thing to go listen to kind of get a sense of like, what does it look like to talk about your sexual history starting from a very young age? And what are things that I might be asking you or that we might be talking about? So we're gathering the threads. We're talking about the journey that you have had so far, getting a clear understanding of what your current relationship to sex, intimacy, and pleasure is, and what are the barriers that you feel like you have. And then also setting our sights on like, where do you want to go? What is your goal by the end of this container? Then our second session together is called Unraveling the Knots. So, this is all about your relationship to your body. Like I have said, most of the women that I work with or people that I work with tend to have a really hard relationship with their body. And that tends to be one of the main barriers that they have to feeling fully like surrendered into pleasure. So, we're going to talk about your relationship to your body and how to create a more sacred, grounded, loving, compassionate, reverent relationship to your body. The body is the loom, and in this weaving metaphor, and we're working on how to come home to your body and feel like your body is yours again. Then the third session is going to be called Spinning the Golden Thread. And this is where we take like a deeper dive into your anatomy of your body and really looking at your vulva, your vagina, your pleasure centers, and one, what is your anatomy so that you know what your anatomy actually looks like and how to use your anatomy to the fullest extent, and what it means for you to actually touch those areas of your body, what it means for you to pleasure yourself in those areas or be pleasured in those areas is just really important. And I know this can sound really scary for a lot of you, but it's really important because I have had clients that did not even know their anatomy at all. And even just like learning the difference between their urethra and their clitoris was a huge breakthrough. So it's important to know what your anatomy is and to be comfortable with it enough to play with it in the way that you want. Okay. The fourth session is weaving desire and self pleasure. Every session is building on the previous session. So this one dives a little bit deeper into the differences in desire. So the different types of desire, the different ways to cultivate desire. We're through all of this, unlearning patriarchal norms around desire and what it means to actually fuel that within yourself. And we can talk about in here too initiation, because initiation tends to be a big barrier for people too. That for some people, it's like, I'm okay once we're in it, but the actually getting there and telling my partner I want sex, or even admitting it to myself, or just even like getting into the flow of things is really awkward. So we can talk about that in that session too. The fifth session is embroidering the mind body tapestry. So once we get a really rich understanding of our bodies, where we like to be touched, where we don't like to be touched, how we can communicate with our partner around like where I feel safe, where I don't feel safe, once we can like touch our own bodies, we're going to talk about how to cultivate that mindfulness. How do we stay in the present moment with our bodies, with our partners, and how to just notice when our minds are wandering somewhere else and when that's totally okay and how to like gently bring ourselves back into the present moment, or how to take a break when we need it and then come back to what we're doing in the moment when we're ready. We're really looking at what does it mean to be in the present moment and how pleasure flows from from the present moment instead of staying in your head, staying in this place of uncertainty or anxiety. We are centering ourselves in our bodies and really experiencing the pleasure in our bodies. The final session is called Guarding the Loom. So, this is where we dive more specifically in depth into communication and about how we hold boundaries and about consent and what it really means for you to say yes when you want to say yes, how it is so important to say no when you really do want to say no, and how to advocate for yourself and advocate for your pleasure throughout a sexual experience. So, those are the 6 sessions. And again, we will probably, my goal is to use like no more than the first half of the session doing the teaching. It might be shorter than that, but that's my goal, is to really leave some time for you to talk about your experience with this, because that's the whole point. Like, if I was just teaching, then I could just record these sessions. So it's more about you learning the information, but then integrating it into your own experiences and what you want to take out of that information. So that's my hope, is that there's some teaching and then also time to explore, time to understand. And then I will give you homework in between each session that is in line with what we just learned. And again, there are some weeks that it might be helpful to have like 2 weeks in between our sessions, because there may be things that take a little bit of time for you to really dive deeper into. And again, for the VIP package, like that's a really helpful time frame for you to have me in your pocket so that you can get any feedback that would be helpful for you in going through those exercises in between those sessions. So that is why the VIP upgrade is a really valuable experience to have. Then there are 2 integration sessions again. So in between teaching session 3 and 4, there will be an integration session, and that will kind of be, again, like processing how are how are you embodying and digesting all of the things that we have gone through so far? Is your body freaking out? Is your body starting to open up and feel safe around all of this? It's really like giving you some space and time to integrate everything that we've done so far and exploring any hangups or things that are coming up for you. Then at the end of or after session 6, so technically week 7, then we will have our final integration session and talk again, like overall, how you did with the entire program, what things are still coming up for you, what your next steps are, how you want to go about that, and really just like bringing everything to a final culmination. Then you get your bonus. So again, the bonuses are, you have the option of an extra integration session. So we can do one more week of really seeing how everything is going for you. We can do more of a ritualistic closing of the container if you want to have something more sacred and more like embodied, and just kind of setting your intention of, this was a beautiful container, to close it and then to think about how you want to move forward. And that can be, again, individually, or if I end up having enough people, then maybe we could do it as a group, but we can definitely do it individually as well. And then if you have the VIP package, then you get to choose if you want another week of text and voice support from me as well. So those are the 3 bonus options that you get to choose from, and that can be the add-on at the end of our container together. So that is pretty much the process of how we are going through this. And, I am here to answer any questions that you have. Also, if you purchase in full, then you get that Sacred Feminine playlist that I created. And that is a beautiful addition to your healing journey that really, I think, sets the frequency and the tone and helps ease you into this love for yourself, love for the collective, love for each other, love for the earth. I was just listening to this playlist before I started recording, and it always just eases my nervous system and puts me in a better head and body space and soul space. So that's a beautiful addition to anything that you do in this container if you pay in full. And let me tell you about the discount. So I've been giving lots of discounts to the people that will pay in full. And I wanted to, on the last day, give a discount because I have been that person that is kind of waiting till the end because I'm like, I want to be able to afford this, but I'm not sure if I can afford this. And, if I have to be the one to pay a monthly fee, am I going to be able to pay that? And so I've been giving a lot of stuff to the people that pay in full. I wanted to give something to the people that will be paying a monthly fee. And that is, I am doing $100 off for the core coaching package and $200 off for the VIP coaching package. And that's every month. So collectively, it is $400 off for the core coaching package and is collectively $800 off for the VIP package. So it's a significant discount for sure. And that is, again, only today. It is starting when this podcast comes out and ends tonight at midnight. So this is the only day that that is available. And then the entire, container of this launch will be closed. So if you were teetering on the fence about whether or not you can afford this and were thinking about doing the monthly payment plan, but still weren't sure if you could make it work, I'm giving you some reprieve. So take a deep breath, close your eyes, put your feet on the floor, and think about for yourself, what would I love? What would I love? And if it's pleasure, then I really do invite you to step into this program and get this discount that I'm giving you today. So, again, if you have any questions, please email me at Kayla@connectedpleasurecoaching.com. I would be happy to answer any questions for you. And we only have one more episode with each other until this launch is closed. So I will talk to you in the next one.